Hello, beautiful humans, beautiful souls. Welcome to A Better World with Adrienne. I am so grateful and excited to be sharing this episode with you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for giving your time, your energy, your attention to plug in. The most important thing you can do for your soul mission, for your soul purpose, to self actualize in this lifetime and steward your vision, steward your contribution to a better world, a world we're proud of, to New Earth, is to consistently plug into places and spaces and mentors and teachings that help you remember who you are and help you remember who you came here to become and keep you in the zone. Keep you in the zone while the world is going to seek you to take you out of that zone, left, right, and center every day. Your most important choice point, and what I really promise in every single podcast, is this is a place where you can plug in and remember who you are, no matter what, unconditionally. And today's episode topic is very important, very timely. And it's, if you're listening to this podcast, you are a leader. You might not be leading a global movement like New Earth Elite. However, you are leading in your life. People are watching you and learning from you how they want to live. They are looking to you as a role model. Okay? They are looking to you as someone who is stewarding light and love and magic on this planet, and something that you will, it's baked into the idea of leadership. Leadership is a word that's tossed around a lot. Baked into leadership is the fact that you will be judged and hated by, you will be judged by most people all of the time as a leader. You will be hated by the masses a lot as a leader. You will experience people gossiping, people talking shit, people ghosting you. I know a lot of my mentors have like entire Reddit threads about them, just like slandering them. If you are going to lead, if you are going to be a steward of the light, you are a representative of unconditional love, harmony, prosperity, bliss, joy, and freedom on our planet. This flies in the face of a lot of things that are going on in the collective consciousness. People that are not on this path, people that don't have the vessel to receive this wisdom, people that are spiraling in mediocrity and chaos will not celebrate these traits in you as you lead. And so you may know this about me if you have been here for a while, that I write every single morning. I'm up by 5 and I'm writing for about an hour from 5 to 6. It's my, quiet, it's very, very intimate spiritual time. It's just me and the light spirit creator writing. I have my coffee and espresso in my mug. Um, People very close to me know how personal my mug experience is. um, I got this demonized traits that unleash your fate. And I just wrote it down a single line. It just came through my channel, and I was like, yep, that's a podcast episode. Because something that happens through the way that I channel my teachings, of course, I have a lot of lived experience being a high performance coach for almost 20 years at this point, which is insane because people don't realize I started doing one-on-one coaching when I was 15 in classical music. I was helping, 8 to 10-year-olds win competitions on their instrument at that age. So I have just a rich, vast history of high performance elite, like artistry coaching experience. I bring that forward as well as my channel downloads. So it really is this beautiful marriage of high performance, which is elite success unconditionally, and spiritual mastery, which is what does it mean to be connected to other realms, to the 99% of reality that we can't see. We literally are operating in less than 1% of reality. So it's what is my relationship with the divine? How can I create with the divine with precision? And one of the ways that I receive downloads, insights, basically assignments through my channel is I just get solutions for people and I get titles and I'm like, "Oh, is this a podcast? Is this a program? Is this something? Is this a course?" Like I've really simplified as New Earth Elite has been born, especially in the past 6 months, with just focusing on the podcast and high proximity, high touch, elite premium mentorship inside New Earth Elite. I have a whole library of on-demand masterclasses, breathwork, astrology teachings. You can go to my website and explore. The links to literally everything are in the show notes. What I want you to know right here, right now in this podcast is that this download came through my channel in the early morning and I'm just birthing it to you. And what I want you to know is that creating it for your life and your vision gets to be this easy, and you've got to be willing to take immediate action on what you receive. Everybody says like, "Oh, trust your intuition." I'm like, "What about obey the force? What about obey your intuition?" And I guess I could add that to the list of demonized traits that I'm going to be teaching on in this transmission is like people demonize the word obey because it's historically been oppressive. It's in our colonial experience on this planet, like obedience has a lot. It's that word has been laden with human trauma. And when you take it out of that context, it is the most divine thing you will ever do is to be obedient to the call, obedient to your intuition, obedient to creator. Creator is the authority and you obey. What does obey mean? You take immediate action. So that's the context of this transmission. You are a leader. I will say this every single episode if needed. The energy we are moving through in 2026 into 2027, you've got to know that you are not like most people and you cannot live like most people. You've got to audaciously and relentlessly claim and live this elite new earth frequency unconditionally. And like I said, you will be demonized. You will be hated. You will be judged. You will be ghosted. You will be cast out from groups. Okay. All of these things are things that happen to me, happen to every other successful spiritual person I know. Think about the greats: Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, Hathor. These people were hated. They were hated by the masses. And they were also sent on divine assignment to incarnate, to liberate literally the sick society that they were a part of. We're living in a sick society. People are sick. People are scrolling. People have disease. People have cancer. None of this is normal. It's normalized. So this is the context of this episode. And I just have like such a high voltage of passion running through me at this moment in time. And I'm really excited for New Earth, and I'm really excited for this podcast to really activate this voltage within you just to fully own, like, yes, I'm a child of God on divine assignment. Yes, I have these traits that are the opposite vibration of what most of the masses will choose or experience. I decide to live it anyways, knowing I will be demonized by many people, not by everyone. That's why coaching matters. That's why joining the movement like New Earth Elite matters. You've got to be surrounded by people who are in this frequency. And I'm going to speak directly into it. No more being in spaces of high performance without a spiritual bedrock. No more being in spiritual spaces that have no ambition or wealth or success attached. It's got to be both. The reason I am birthing New Earth Elite is because I see chronic fracture points in both of these extremes that must be sacrificed on the altar right here, right now, once and for all, for New Earth, for a better world to be born, to be birthed through us. That is the context of this episode. Before I go full tilt, if you want to go deeper into this work with me, I'm recording this at the beginning of June 2026. I'm enrolling one client into one-on-one Lux mentorship. This is a concierge bespoke space of elite transformation and high performance and the ancient codes for you in health, wealth, happiness, and freedom as you steward your divine mission. You can expect 10x, 20x, 100x results because we don't operate in linear time. And this is for the elite leader. You're obsessed with collapsing time. You're obsessed with self-actualizing right now, and you love investing in yourself. You love luxury. You love one-on-one undivided attention where you can truly blast off. So if this is you, go to the link in the show notes and apply. I am also calling in the correct souls for Greece Atlantis. This is the 6-day soul activation and pilgrimage on the islands in August 2026. 8/8 Lionsgate portal, the inaugural Leo South Node eclipse, where you will shatter any blocks between you and your biggest leadership. And it's reclaiming the Atlantean timeline for you to fully rise in your thought leadership, in your innovation, in your Aquarius codes in this lifetime. So it's for 8 people. If you are interested in joining us, go to the link in the show notes and apply. As you may have noticed, both of these spaces are premium, both are application only. Why? Because the frequency matters. In Greece, it's going to be the correct souls on the correct frequency to create the correct field of energy for us to go deep into the work together. And then obviously one-on-one, it's got to be a fit for you and for me, because one of the key elements of this work is intimacy. And here's the thing. If you feel close to me during our work together, I have failed as a mentor, as a healer, as a coach, as a guide, as an astrologer, as a channel, as White Star. Okay? The whole point is for you to feel closer to Creator, closer to your soul, closer to your mission, closer to the land, closer to love, truth, abundance, joy, closer to the force that we are all a part of. Now, will you and I create an amazing bond that's has Creator at the helm? Absolutely. That's a huge part of it. And it's all about you being closer to Creator. And I simply hold this space and offer my refined gifts and, you know, the mentorship that you receive in my world is it's skill mastery and being in the training room while at the same time being held in deep alchemical healing, while at the same time you are self-led, traversing your own path. It's literally all of it. So links to both of those are in the show notes. Make moves if you want to work with me. Limited spaces, high proximity. Let's go. Even pause this episode and go apply if you feel called. Okay. Demonized traits that unleash your fate. On the altar today, I have 3 red roses. There's a lot going on with the Magdalene codes right now. Magdalene is the divine feminine. And it's so interesting because I primarily serve men in my work. Do I work with women? Have I had women clients? Yes. I continue to be shown New Earth Elite is a fleet of souls. I see fleets of men. And there's a sacred geometry that happens when I hold space for specifically men. So whether you are a man in gender or whether you are a woman in gender, this is about energetics and architecture, by the way. There's a masculine part of you that gets activated in my presence. And it's that part that's fused and held and nourished in this very feminine, luscious, divine, royal frequency of Magdalene. I've said this before. Mary Magdalene literally funded and bankrolled all of Yeshua's mission. No divine masculine without the divine feminine. No divine feminine without the masculine, right? So there's these red roses on the altar, bringing in root chakra energy, bringing in heart energy, bringing in the divine feminine. And with a rose, there's all of these petals and beauty, and there's also thorns. Okay. And if you think about this topic, if we were to describe it through the by way of a rose, what are the demonized traits? It's your thorns. Your thorns that keep mediocrity out. Think about yourself as a castle. Every good castle has a moat, and you pull up that drawbridge at any time. And then your fate is the petals, it's the bloom. Demonized traits that unleash your fate. I said this in the opening. You've got to be okay with being judged and even hated by most people, by a lot of people, by the masses, okay? Stop comparing yourself to the mediocre masses. Stop surrounding yourself with the mediocre masses. It is fucking with your mindset. It is fucking with your heart set. It is fucking with your nervous system. Because we are wired to conform. We are wired to want to be part of the tribe. Like at a cellular, visceral level, our ability to feel safe is like, do I belong? And this is why the work we do together in nervous system reset, not regulation, in holotropic breathwork journeys is so deeply important because you break those chains that control 95% of your decisions all day. I'm going to say this. Stop giving yourself a gold star for treading water in water never meant for you. What do I mean by that? You are strong, okay? Just because you can handle being around people that bring you down, that quietly judge you, that maybe openly judge you, that are not chasing dreams, that are not on this frequency. And here's the thing, you know who they are. And for you, it's subtle. You've already cut ties with the very obvious things. For you, it's subtle. It's that person that you've been friends with for 30 years that you know every time you're around them, they just lower your vibration. They just lower your vibration. It's time to be ruthless. And it's not about calling them and telling them off and being, because that's not the vibration of the light. It's about I just have an elevated frequency, and when your frequency rises, things just fall away. Things just fall away. And that is more than okay. So you've got to be okay with being judged and even hated by a lot of people. Baked into leadership is you're pioneering a new path that's not accepted yet. That's not widely accepted. Einstein, the Wright brothers, like literally every great inventor, people thought they were crazy. Even the inventor of pizza. Think about pizza. People eat pizza all over the world. The inventor of pizza, he knocked on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people's doors to try his new product, his new invention, which was pizza. And everybody thought he was crazy. Nobody would try it. And then someone tried it and someone liked it. And then it blew up. And now it's a worldwide staple. However, when they first started out, nope, everybody thought they were crazy, judged them, demonized them. So you've just got to, here's the thing. Probably the thing that will First, you have a really big soul mission. You would not be listening to this episode if you didn't, okay? The only thing that will stop you from achieving the soul mission, what I see time and time again, is people, and it happens at every single level. I work some of my one-on-one clients, CEOs of household names, founders of household global brands, okay? Still making unpopular decisions, being judged, being hated, having news like spread about them, having, front page of like untrue things written about them. You have got to be willing to be misunderstood in new ways in 2026. I will never forget a very specific moment when I was shifting out of mindful music and into more of what I'm doing now. Somebody once said to me, they were like, I liked your other company better. I liked mindful music. And I was like, well, first, you've never been a paying client of mine in any company. So your opinion does not matter. It's not valid. You're not a paying customer. Um, and second, I obey. You will get, and here's the thing, people judging you are people not in the arena. And sometimes they are. Sometimes they're people that were once, like, you were once colleagues, and then you transcended them. Something that I've gone through again and again and again on my path, and you probably will as well, is outgrowing people, places, things. This has happened for me with coaches and mentors so many times. And just owning, like, yes, I'm epic. Yes, I keep growing. Why? Because I'm a child of God. And none of this is possible without God. It's not about not being humble. However, people talk about being humble as like it's a way that people normalize having low self-worth, which is the opposite vibration of the creator. Anytime you think you're better than or less than, it's an ego thing. So I've even had this with New Earth Elite lately, like previous clients, judging, jealous, talk like gossiping, like all of this. And what do I come back to again and again and again? Literally, the only thing I care about is achieving my soul mission. That's it. And I have insane certainty barreling forward with that every single day. And you've got to as well. So I want to break down the title because there are codes in the words, even like demonize, trait, unleash, fate. Words are codes. Abracadabra literally means as I speak, so I create. If you want to increase the blessings and miracles in your life, adjust how you speak. For real. Every word you speak, you are literally casting spells. And your reality right now is just a reflection of your previous inner reality and the words you speak and the state of your nervous system and what you would expect, right? Okay. So demonized. What is demonized? It's something that is seen as evil, that's dangerous, that's worthy of contempt or blame, okay? Demonize, like, if you look at it from like a Bible perspective, which this is not religious. A Bible is just an ancient text with a lot of secrets about the mechanics of the universe. It's just been bastardized by human behavior. So if you can transcend that, demonize, it means like evil, opposite vibration of the creator, dangerous, okay? What I want you to know is that people will say that what you're doing is evil because it's different than the true evil of the masses, right? The masses operate in scarcity, lack, fear. And I'm not saying this as judgment. I'm saying this as these are the energetics at play on our planet right now. And your ability to birth new paradigms and live your soul mission is all about, do you have energetic mastery? Do you understand what's going on right now? Do you understand it in the context of your personal mission? Do you understand it in the context of the astrology? Do you understand it in the context of the energetics of what's happening on our planet right now? Do you understand it in the energetics of, okay, not just our planet, but our galaxy? That's when we talk about astrology. That's when we talk about Atlantis and Syria and these other um places. We talk about the other side, right? Like all of this being dangerous is part of it. I consistently say, do not know enough to be dangerous, be lethal. You've got to be lethal to the status quo. You got to be lethal to fear. You got to be lethal to all of the normalized mediocrity and lack and fear out there. So demonized. You will be demonized. You will be seen as evil and dangerous. You are dangerous though to the status quo. That's what being a maverick is. That's what being a leader is, okay? And then with this idea of evil, evil is just something that's opposite vibration of the creator. The creator is loving, abundant, free, unconditional. Okay, traits. Traits, their qualities or characteristics or behavior that makes an individual unique. It's a property. What I want to share about the word traits is these are these are characteristics and they're learned, honed, wielded, leveraged, and refined all deliberately. At least this is what we do in this work. Most people operate off the idea that things are the way they are. There's people either have things or they don't, and that you're either lucky enough to have it or you're not. And I know in every fiber of my being, literally anything in life you can learn. Do we have innate gifts? Yes. I see people sit on raw talent and never make anything in their lives every single day, all day. Hard work beats talent every time. Why? Because people that work hard know that anything can be learned. You can learn any trait, you can master any skill set. All right? Luck isn't a thing. Luck is not a thing. Unleash sudden release of powerful forces to allow something to act freely, to release from control and let loose. Unleash, very specific word. I'm not talking about gradual change. I'm not talking about, oh, step by step. No, I'm talking about fully unhinged, letting it rip, unleash your fate. Unleash, unleash your full power. Here's the thing. A lot of times, your own power scares you because you know if you fully surrender to that, which by the way, surrender is not passive. Surrender is I allow creator to create through me. It's a very active thing where you're like, I get this intuitive hit, I act on it immediately. I get this idea, I go immediately. It's instant action and then you are propelled forward. That's what surrender is. And it's when you almost are like watching yourself. You're having like an out of body experience where you're like watching yourself create the thing, right? That's what it is. And I talk about it when I teach manifestation with my clients, the snap, crackle, pop. All of these are, you've got to be in the training room learning these, but unleash. It's not gradual. You flip the switch. You make a one-time decision and you never go back on it. That's all it is. Unleash. Fate. Fate, a lot of people have different ideas about the word fate. Fatalistic views on life is like everything's predetermined, there's no free will. And then there's people who think everything is free will. My definition and what I view as and what I experience and see as true in my path in guiding hundreds of clients in studying with my teachers, studying the ancients, what the sages say is it's this unique, here's how I describe it. The force plus free will equals fate. Okay? The universe can send you all kinds of things every single day, all day. If you never use your free will to act upon it and receive, you will never activate your fate. You will never activate your destiny. Every single moment of every single day, there are multiple destinies, multiple fates available to you. There's different timelines available to you in every moment, and you choose it based on your decisions. So, for example, there's multiple timelines available to you today. Now, if you go eat that cupcake, you know that makes you feel like shit and is poisoning your body, then you are choosing the fate where you are overweight and you have self-created dis-ease, right? If you see the cupcake, you have a craving for the cupcake and you say, "No, my body's a temple. I'm not going to eat that." Then you choose the timeline where you're barreling towards elite health and vitality, right? So the prophecy is not guaranteed. The prophecy is not guaranteed. So that is a breakdown of the codes of the words, just even in the title. And now I really want to feel into and just channel on some of these traits that you will be demonized for that are actually the very thing that will unleash your fate. And what I want to say is that taboos, what's a taboo? Taboo is something that people don't talk about. Is the reason taboos exist is to keep you disempowered and misinformed and easily controlled and manipulated by dark force agendas on the 3D plane. They're all the opposite vibration of the creator. So I'm just going to speak directly into these. And basically, what I want to share is that these traits are, they're all things that you can learn. And basically, anything that flies in the face of separation, lack, fear, limits, you will be demonized for in some way. So, any way in your life that you allow yourself to be unlimited, any way in yourself that you allow yourself to not have fear, any way in your life that you just decide to never ever be in separation, which means, for example, like I just don't participate in the whole politics thing. It's all just a distraction from the actual work we've got to be doing to birth a better world, right? I'm demonized for that. You will be too. People, even my own family, like they're like, I don't even know who you are anymore, right? Things like that. You'll be demonized because you refuse to operate in us versus them mentality, which is lack, which is competition, which is the opposite vibration of the creator. Creator is wholeness, creator is unity consciousness, right? So here's the traits, just a list of traits. Selfish, being selfish, putting yourself first. You will be demonized for that. Put yourself first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Pouring from an empty cup is an illusion. It's extraction. It's pimping yourself out. Absolutely not. Unapologetic, being unapologetic and bold. I grew up in the Midwest in the US. Everybody says I'm sorry literally all day, every day. It's like, I'm sorry for existing. I'm sorry for taking up space. No, you are a child of God. You are a child of Creator on divine assignment. Take up space. Be audacious. Be bold. You will be demonized for this. Innovative. To innovate is to create new things that have never been created. People don't like it when the boat gets rocked. You will be demonized for this. If you're out here saying, "Oh, I'm here to birth a new paradigm," get ready for people to throw mad shade at your ideas. And it's not like it's not about oh my God, I'm going to be a social outcast and all of these things. No, the more you dial in on the frequency of the real you, yes, a lot will fall away, but you will have ride or dies on this frequency, which is the thing you've been craving this whole time, anyways. Rip off the band-aid with what's never been meant for you. Say thank you, I love you, goodbye, and move forward. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It's just energy, right? Okay, free. If you decide I'm going to be free in a world that chooses to be caged and controlled by systems like healthcare, which is actually sick care, the government, economy, blah, 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 people will demonize you for that. Why? Why is all of this stuff demonized? Because if you radiate your life in such a frequency that you say, hey, there's other options. It's the unspoken conversation. You're basically a mirror, like showing people what's possible just by living your life. If you're listening to this episode, you probably trigger people just by existing. If you walk into a room and people are triggered just by your energy and you don't even say anything, yeah, you should work with me. Like this is the frequency, right? That's what this is. You're an activation. And an activation point, the people that you are here to serve will be activated and they will value you and they will choose to be activated into an upward spiral. And then the people not meant for you, you will repel them because they will be so triggered that they will just go into their own chaos, right? That's not your, that's not you. Your job is your frequency. So being free, okay, fully expressed. In a world where people don't share their truth, if you're fully expressed, you will be demonized for it. Unconditional success. This is a big one. If you decide that you live and you create success unconditionally. What do I mean by that? Okay, pandemic, who cares? I'm still successful. Okay. People are freaking out about the economy. It doesn't matter. I'm successful. Like unconditional success. You will be demonized for that because why? Most of the world places their ability to be successful on conditions, aka they live life as the effect, not the cause. Not you, not new earth, not a better world, not right now. These traits will unleash your fate. If you don't embody these traits, you will not unleash your fate. You will be caught in the cauldron of chaos, in the tornado, the downward spiral tornado. If you want to learn about that, go to Gemini Genius and the new 7-year cycle. I taught a lot on that frequency. Okay, some other traits. Wealthy. I I have been and continue to be judged about money and about wealth and about abundance by people, lots and lots and lots of people. Okay. These are not my people in my inner circle. And you've got to really just remember that a lot of the world lives in lack consciousness. And so the fact that you decide not to and you dare to make that your unconditional reality, people are going to have issues with it. And they're not your issues. You will be demonized. This is why the whole thing, like, money's the root of all evil, is even a saying, is because people have demonized wealth. And I had to unprogram that out of my system so deeply. And it's been consistently, like, even as I go deeper into I can even tell you right now, there's certain things in my life I don't share with really anyone, maybe a few key true inner circle ride or dies, because I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be judged about it. And so the thing that I'm working through is like being seen more deeply in this frequency and just knowing, yeah, I'm going to be judged and hated more. And I'm also going to be able to serve at a higher level and click in with the correct souls. So some other ones, healthy and hot, childlike wonder and joy. If you transcend chaos and non-judgment, living your royal divinity. I went into a store in LA and it was a store that I had heard amazing things about, and I just walked in and it was like chaos. It was chaos. I looked at the prices. The prices were very low, and I felt the fabric, and the fabric was cheap. And I asked one of the people working there to help me and find something that I was looking for, and they were completely distracted, running around, and I was like, this is not for me. And then I went to my, luxury designer stores that I am obsessed with, and I got concierge treatment. They're bringing me bubble water there, and I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be treated like this. I'm royalty. And you are too. And maybe even the fact that I just said that might activate something within you. Where have you not been living as spiritual royalty? One of my clients asked me the other day about her soulmate, and this is a one-on-one high proximity client. And I said, I was like, well, where are you not worshiping yourself and then expecting to get worshiped in relationship? And it came down to this person's relationship with food. I've got to tell you, I've said this on the podcast a lot. People's relationship with food, they don't talk about it. It's one of the most intimate things in our lives, and it is a key indicator of if you actually love and respect yourself or not, is what you put in your body. And I said, you're not worshiping yourself in this area. And because you have that vibration alive within you every single day, all day, and you're breaking self-trust in those moments, of course, you're not going to be calling in something where you're going to be worshipped by a masculine counterpart. And so, do you dare to live your royal divinity? You will be demonized. Truth, if you speak truth, ambition and desire. Ambition is demonized. Structure is demonized. Presence. The fact that I do digital detox every single week, people want you to respond right away. Nope. Presence, being ever changing. People will want to put you in a box. Ever changing, guided. If you're seen as someone who's guided, someone who trusts the unseen. A lot of people, like, especially like on LinkedIn, they do not take me seriously because I post a lot of spiritual things. And I'm like, great, you're not my people. I've had multiple people say to me, I just can't take you seriously because of, A, B, C, D. And I'm like, amazing, you're not my people. Anything you like complete certainty, because doubt is a vibration of mediocrity. Anything that you have complete certainty, you will be demonized for. Being unplugged, thinking for yourself, thought leadership. Oh, by the way, interrupting any kind of bloodline pattern, interrupting any kind of family pattern, you will be demonized for it by your family, for sure, by people that operate in that culture, for sure. These are just some traits that I thought of. However, it's like you've got to be okay with not only embodying and harnessing these traits to truly unleash your fate, which you are being called into a higher game of your fate. You are being called into a higher game of your destiny. Stop refusing the call. Where are you refusing the call? And maybe you're not refusing the call, you don't have the skill set to receive the call. Maybe your nervous system is in such a disarray, you don't even know what the call is. This is what we go really deep into in this world. My deepest intention is that you really understand the energetics and mechanics, and you know that this is just part of the game. Every wildly successful person is demonized and hated and judged by the masses. That's how the game works, and you've got to be okay with it. Because at the end of the day, when you meet your maker, when you have your end of life review with Creator, are you going to say, yes, I got the call, but I ignored it because I was scared of what people would say and think? Or are you going to be like, yeah, I left it all in the court and I lived my soul mission? Like the things that we worry about, that we're scared of, it's like not even real. It feels viscerally real in our bodies. Spiritually, it's not real. So I felt really called to share this episode with you because there's a new level of this happening right now on our planet. And if you're going to step forward in this movement, New Earth Elite, which New Earth Elite is where you go from being the 1% to the 1% of the 1%. 2020 was cute child's play for the energy that's hitting the planet right now. And that's just, it's not good or bad. It's just energy. The intensity is ratcheting up. That's another thing that's people demonize, intensity. Intensity, passion. Why? Because people have normalized living a numbed out life. And when I say people, I'm just talking about the general consciousness on our planet. You're here to interrupt it, you're here to lead. And I would go as far to say as if you have not been experiencing hate, you're not leading. You're not being cutting edge. You're not pioneering. You're regurgitating. You're playing it safe. So that is today's episode. Demonized traits that unleash your fate. And it's time for you to unleash, not baby steps, not, like gradual. No, rip the band-aid. Unleash your fate, your potency, your power, because it's the truth. And New Earth is now. If you want to go deeper into this work, you know what to do. Applications for one-on-one Lux are in the show notes. Application for Greece Atlantis in August, 6-day soul pilgrimage is in the show notes. I think I'm going to throw together a little June bundle if you want to do some on-demand breath work with me to really leverage the frequencies. And yeah, that's all I have for you on this beautiful day. Please go share this with someone in your world you know is on this frequency. It means so much when you share the podcast. And go be the change, be the light, be the real you. If you feel the call to really unleash your fate in this work with me, everything you need is in the show notes. I believe in you. I believe in a better world. Go make a stranger smile. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.